Tonight on KGW News, 3 days after the disaster.
The emotions are what you would expect for a period of unimaginable grief.
With a 9th victim recovered from the Longview paper mill as 2 more families wait for clarity and answers.
Plus, how you can help those impacted by the blast as several businesses set up fundraisers to show their support.
And that's the kind of community that we are. We know each other, we help each other.
Then, how new video of an immigration takedown in Woodburn calls a facial recognition app into question.
And every single time it came up with a different result with a lady that was not even her.
And later, the Portland Fire try to keep their hot streak alive.
Despite being the underdogs of the league and being the new team, we have to have high standards.
Oh, good evening, and thank you for being with us on what's been a difficult week for so many in our community. I'm David Mulco. We begin tonight once again in Longview, where crews have now recovered 9 of the victims killed in a chemical tank blast, leaving 2 still missing. That makes a total of 11 killed or presumed dead, and through family and friends, we have now confirmed the names of these 5 men and got a chance to learn more about 3 of them today. Dale Miller was 54 years old and was living with his mother in Portland at the time to help her out financially. He liked collecting and fixing old cars and was a grandfather, a father, a son, and a brother. Jared Ammons is survived by a wife and 2 children, with a 3rd on the way. An attorney for his wife says Jared went to work early that day so he could accompany his wife to a prenatal appointment, an appointment he never made it to. And then there's John Forsberg, who, according to a fundraiser, also leaves behind 2 children. Right now, the Paper Workers Union is supporting the affected families and so many more in their community.
The emotions are what you would expect for a period of unimaginable grief. We've got families that have been notified of the loss of their loved ones. There's families that are waiting to hear the status of their loved ones, and you know that creates a lot of emotions, and it creates fear and sadness and anger.
Fear, sadness, anger, uncertainty. Officials tell us the recovery process is slow and painstaking as they document everything, make sure the victims are treated with dignity, and ensure responder safety comes first. They add teams have made significant cleanup progress by using vacuum trucks to clear the corrosive white liquor that spilled from the ruptured tank, and are getting closer to the site of the blast. For its part, Nippon Dynawave, the owner and operator of the mill, says it is cooperating closely with investigating agencies, while the city of Longview reiterated the drinking water across town is safe to drink. And then there is this, Longview Strong, the way the extended community has come together. John Adams is live in Longview with a snapshot of just some of those efforts. John?
Yeah, David, it's hard to find anyone in town that doesn't know someone impacted by this tragedy. This weekend, there's going to be a number of events happening in town, raising money for the families of those lost in this tragedy this week. In the tight-knit community of Longview,
if you don't know one of the victims, you know somebody who does.
This week's tragedy at the Nippon Dynawave Mill spurring fundraising efforts of all shapes and sizes.
When I see that happen, and say something we can do to help the families.
On Friday, the parking lot of Faye's Carriage Restaurant converted to a charity car wash. Owner Faye Chen tells us many of her customers are workers at the mill, which is less than a quarter-mile away.
All the money is 100% go to help the family.
Chen says the car wash raised about $750 on Friday. They will also wash cars from noon to 5 on Saturday and Sunday. Starting at 11 on Saturday morning, a community barbecue will happen in the parking lot of a local sporting goods store.
People can come and talk to each other, have some meaningful conversations, support each other.
Owner Matt Schlecht says the food will be free, with all donations going to the victims' families.
Our thoughts and prayers are with the 11 workers that tragically lost their lives and their families that are going to need our support now more than ever.
The tragedy touching nearly everyone in town.
We've had an employee who lost their spouse, and so that touches us all.
All of the credit unions in Longview are banding together to create a fund for those affected.
These families need this money now. They can't wait for a settlement. They can't wait for whatever is going to happen later on. They need gas, they need food, they need medical expenses, things taken care of right now.
For a list of events and fundraisers happening in Longview this weekend, just head to our website, KGW.com, and click on this story. You can find a number of events listed there. David?
So many people coming together. John Adams tonight, Longview. Thanks, John. You know, we're expecting yet another update from fire officials on site at the plant Saturday afternoon at 3:30. Again, remember, 2 of the victims still missing. Look for that on KGW.com and our free TV streaming app, KGW Plus. And remember, Longview strong. Let's switch to a live look now from our Wells Fargo sky cam, looking out over the Willamette after a cooler, though beautiful day across much of the Northwest as we head into our final weekend of the month of May. Matt's here now with a look at how it's all shaping up. Happy Friday, Matt.
All right, David, thank you. Yeah, we started out with clouds and some showers this morning. Didn't get a lot of rain in the Portland area like they did in the Gorge in eastern Oregon from the thunderstorms last night, but that's all behind us now. And today it was all about the clearing. And this is what it looked like on Mount Hood, a really great lenticular formation here on the west side. And then it just sort of fades out as the moisture in the atmosphere became less and less. The sky cleared and it was just a beautiful afternoon there. Portland right now is 53. It's a mix of cloud and clear. It is cool outside. In fact, it's quite a bit cooler now than it was at this time last night by 7, 8, 10 degrees. Remember, it was a warm day yesterday in the 80s. Today we topped out in the 60s, so that makes sense that we'd be cooler already. But the sky will clear again during the day tomorrow. It's 50 in Forest Grove, 47 in Happy Valley, 51 in Scappoose. So it's a little bit chilly out there already, and low temperatures will be well down into the 40s in the valleys, 30s, even 20s up in the high country there. Meanwhile, in the Gorge, wow, that west wind just won't relent. Still gusting at 30 miles an hour, but there'll be a switch in the wind next week, and I'll let you know what that means for our temperatures, David.
All right, Matt, we'll see you in a few. New video tonight of an immigration takedown last fall in Woodburn appears to show federal agents using facial recognition technology on farm workers to try and identify the people they have detained. Though, as Jake Holter found out, a lawyer for one of those women says it turns out the tech isn't always accurate.
Abro la ventana o cobre la ventana.
DHS agents on body-worn camera footage smashing a van window while conducting an immigration operation in Woodburn last October. The video came out in court proceedings after a woman who was detained filed suit against the government for ICE's arrest tactics.
Spanish, please.
All right, she wants to lawyer up, so she doesn't identify herself. We'll just take her.
We spoke with Nellie Garcia Orwella, an attorney with Innovation Law Lab. She says agents were using a facial recognition technology called Mobile Fortify. You can see here agents using this app on another person sitting on the ground.
That is what they testify that they use to scan people's faces to verify their identity, because when they stopped them, they did not know who they were stopping.
The app compares information from databases to the face of who they are scanning, but it's not always accurate.
They tried to scan her face about 3 times, and every single time it came up with a different result with a lady that was not even her.
Garcia Orwella says it's not until her client was at an ICE processing facility that they figured out her identity. She says this technology raises concerns about expectations of privacy.
Is a scan of the face already, a search by the means of the Fourth Amendment? What constitutes a search now, really? If before it was like the act of like fingerprinting you, but now if an agent can take his phone and take a picture of you and then pretty much perform a search, how does that play out?
It's a good question. Jake Holter reporting there. We should note this very case led a federal judge in February to issue a preliminary injunction restricting ICE agents from arresting people without warrants. Homeland Security has not responded to requests for comment. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, firefighters are working to figure out what sparked a massive fire that burned down 2 floating homes along the Columbia. This is video taken shortly after the fire started around 4 a.m. south of Hayden Island. Crews say the layout of the community made the fire challenging to reach.
Early on, there was a lot happening, life rescue and then immediate fire suppression. So the life rescue was successful, and as I said, we got a rescue of 2 individuals that were elderly, that were completely unaware of the fire that was occurring in the residence just next to them. And we also saved all but 2 of these homes.
Yeah, sounds like a close call. No one was injured and all residents were evacuated safely. 3 people are in jail, part of an organized retail theft crew that hit several stores, authorities say, in the Seattle area, then drove here to Washington County. Deputies tracked the suspects to a parking lot off TV Highway where a drone operator, got one ducking into a nearby food truck. All 3 were arrested for first-degree theft. Police telling us they pulled roughly $36,000 worth of stolen fragrances and other merchandise from the car. And new tonight, a driver is in critical condition after hitting a utility pole in Gresham. This is around 5:30 near 181st and Cooch. Police say the driver was not wearing a seatbelt and was thrown from the vehicle. The crash shut down traffic lights in the area for several hours, though they are now back up and running. No word yet on the cause.